at Wheeler Gorge Campground in the Los Padres National Forest. We will be riding to the Rock Shop on Mulholland Highway. This campground is huge, and we had this whole section to ourselves when we showed up. Enjoyed the quiet and hearing the birds. Riding out of the mountains and joining up with the Pacific Coast Highway. The road was closed when I made the map. We did go on Mulholland Highway. The snake part of Mulholland Highway was closed, so we had a detour. Enjoying the fire and still hearing the birds at night. We had this pretty creek going by the camp. It was relaxing to hear the running water all night. This is part 26 on our ride from Texas to California and back. The second time doing this trip, the first time moto camping in California. Leaving the campground, just a quick stop to throw out our garbage. This is the first of 3 water crossings. This is the deepest of the 3. It doesn't look deep, but the pipes on the Harley just cleared the water. Riding south out of the mountains on Maricopa Highway. Maricopa Highway is also called California State Route 33. We are in Los Padres National Forest. A few years ago, on our last ride to this area, we were on California Highway 154. Which is another route through the forest. We stopped at the biker hangout, Cold Spring Tavern. I will put the link to that video in the description below. State Route 33 goes from Ventura to Tracy, which is east of San Francisco. It is known as more of a locals road or the farmer's road. Interstate 5, which is much faster, is to our east, and Highway 101, which is known for the tourists, is to our west. California State Route 33, approximately 6.5 miles north of the Ventura County line, is considered a National Forest scenic byway. It is roughly the distance from the campground to the farms outside the canyon. Fires and mudslides are common in California. There was more than one road closed we were planning to ride on due to mudslides. On our previous visit a few years ago, the roads were shut down due to forest fires. We saw a few of these trucks in the mountains in California. It's not uncommon for Route 33 to have mudslides and be shut down for a few hours. The rock on the right is called Mulholland Rock. On Google Maps, it shows hot springs down the road, but they are privately owned. On the left is Friends Ranch's store. It sells local citrus fruit and drinks. They are a packing house, and they go to the local farmers markets. Back on the PCH, riding along the Pacific Ocean, we are riding through Point Mugu State Park. Part of Point Mugu State Park is Mugu Beach. On the right is Point Mugu Rock. Point Mugu State Park has more than 70 miles of hiking trails, ranging from easy overlooks to a moderate peak trail. There have been mud and rock slides here in the past. They have been bad enough to cut off traffic. We're guessing that's what the fence on the left is for. Thornhill Broom State Beach Campground. We're still in Point Mugu State Park. Depending on tide and storm surge, this campground does flood. The sand on the left side of the road is from the wind blowing it from the beach. People use this hill to sandboard. Sycamore Cove Beach. The parking for these beaches opens at 8 a.m. and closes at sunset. Parking costs $3 an hour per vehicle, or $12 for the day. County Line Beach at the edge of Malibu. We did go into Malibu on our last visit, but not this time. For the most part, trying to take different roads and see different things. We did do Mulholland Highway both trips. The previous trip through Mulholland was before the fire, and it looks totally different. On our last trip, coming into Malibu, we came on Decker Road. which joins with Mulholland in the mountains. Trying to find Mulholland Highway? We thought there would be a sign, but didn't see one, so turning around to look again. Mulholland Highway. Canyon Campground is below us. It is part of Leo Carrillo State Park. There were many spots with road work and stop signs for one-lane traffic. It was always easy to see the stop sign going the other way, so not a problem on the one-lane parts. This section of Mulholland, until we get to the first traffic light, is a California scenic highway. In 1928, the scenic byway was opened. It was a popular road for the people of Los Angeles to get to the ocean. Mulholland Highway crosses the Santa Monica Mountains. The part of Mulholland Highway we are on today is in the Santa Monica Mountain National Recreation Area. In November 2018, the Woolsey Fire started north of Highway 101. It spread fast and burned over 96,000 acres. Approximately 2/3 of that was in the Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area and includes the rest of our ride today. Paul's pointing to the houses on the top of the hills. The Woolsey Fire destroyed over 1,500 structures. We saw more burnt homes than we did homes intact. More than 295,000 people were evacuated. Hundreds of homes in Malibu were lost to the fire as well, along both sides of the Pacific Coast Highway. The Woolsey Fire started north of Highway 101 on November 8th. The Santa Ana winds were blowing around 60 miles an hour. This helped the fire cross Highway 101 in the morning of November 9th. By the morning of November 10th, the fire had spread to over 70,000 acres. 3,242 firefighters were sent to help. There were 2 other large fires burning in California at the same time. We are riding here in July 2019, 8 months after the fire. On November 14th, thanks to strong winds again, a flare-up occurred around Point Mugu. This started before sunrise. By mid-morning, there was huge plumes of smoke over the point and out to sea. This video is being made in May 2020. There are still many sites and trails closed in the Santa Monica Mountain National Recreation Area. Pyramid Ranch had a western town that was a National Historic Register site. It was damaged by the fire. It has been reopened and the public can see filmmaking at a western movie ranch. Another structure in the park, the Peter Strauss Ranch, had significant damage. At the time of this video, it is still closed. However, the amphitheater survived the fire, and the park is hoping to use that in the future. There were 13 cougars with radio collars in the Santa Monica Mountains. It is believed 11 of the cats survived the fire. There were 4 bobcats collared. All 4 survived the fire. Mulholland Highway is a popular area for TV shows and films. Some episodes of TV shows and movies that are filmed here are Monk, The Fugitive, and Friday the 13th. Mulholland Drive is more well known than Mulholland Highway. The drive is east from here, closer to Los Angeles. Mulholland Highway is more in the hills and more rural. Mulholland Highway is better known for racing cars and motorcycles, with the twisty roads and steep cliffs. It has a reputation of being one of the deadliest roads in Southern California. Like so many of the roads we go on, it has a great view, and not a lot of places to stop and check it out. We get used to taking quick peeks and then eyes back on the road. Staying on Mulholland Highway. This is where we went straight last time, going into Malibu on Decker Road instead of turning right on Mulholland. We were riding the opposite direction, going into Malibu. Both ways are beautiful, but going into Malibu has the great ocean views. We saw a lot of trailers on properties. We're assuming what people are using while they rebuild their homes. This section had a lot of burnt homes. It was sad to ride through. Found a spot to pull over and look at the view. There was a small helicopter that seemed like it was following us through the hills. It came up as we stopped, circled around a bit, and then went away. A little wildflower on the side of the road. Another turn, we're staying on Mulholland Highway. The road is well marked with street signs at the intersections, but there are a few turns. It isn't a straight road going through. Crossing here and again staying on Mulholland Highway. Turning the corner, this doesn't look good. Just beyond this is the start of the famous Snake. The Snake has many hairpin turns and is known for racing. The Snake is closed. When making this video, the Snake is still closed, according to LA Public Works. The fire and mudslides after the fire affected the road. We turn around and stop to look at our map. Figured out a detour and we're off. We were planning on taking the Snake to the rock store for lunch. Instead, we took Canaan Road to get to the other side of Mulholland Highway. This might not be as twisty as the Snake, but it's still a pretty ride. Men's Journal rated the Snake as one of the top 11 drives in the world. They mention the 21 miles of Mulholland Drive going through the Santa Monica Mountains. The 2 miles of the Snake being the highlight of this road. People like us coming from all over the country to ride it. Jay Leno is known to frequently drive the Snake in his many vehicles. Photographers take pictures of people riding past on Edwards Corner. Edwards Corner is the tightest corner on the Snake, and people say the most crashed site in California. Turning on Sierra Creek Road to get back to Mulholland Highway. Around 1910, the rock store started out as a stagecoach stop. It is now Southern California's most famous motorcycle hangout. Back to Mulholland Highway. The rock store is known for its food, attracting bikers of all kinds, and having famous people dropping by showing off their newest toys. I was looking forward to a good lunch and seeing some cool bikes. The Travel Channel and many biker magazines and blogs have done articles on the rock store. Coming up to the rock store on our left. Assuming it's closed, looks like we won't get lunch here after all. We did stop and get some pictures. Thanks for joining us on our ride out of the mountains, by the ocean, and into the hills of California. Please hit like and subscribe and post any comments below. Check out my website, follow me on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram.